the hype around her release was based on the fact that she is probably the highest skill cap hero in the game. Of course, we are talking about Yin. Here in this build guide and deck, we're going to see exactly why she is such a high skill cap and what makes her so good in today's meta. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero building guide. I am Sylphin. So we are doing Yin, and she is a carry. She is a pseudo melee ranged carry in that she has a fairly long melee attack that's kind of about half in between a ranged attack and a melee attack, maybe a little bit shorter. Now, the very cool thing is that with the first ability that we are getting here in this game, our E ability does something special. Our E ability makes our basic attack makes our basic attack longer. It really increases the range to 1,050 units instead of the 600 or so that it's at. Now, what also happens is that there's a cleave. So in a straight line, you actually pierce all targets and deal damage to all enemies within a straight line for that full 1050 unit range. Now, by no means, ladies and gentlemen, am I a highly skilled Yin player. Definitely not a highly skilled carry. So you're not going to see pro Yin play here, especially there when you saw me trying to attack the tower. When you're trying to attack the tower as a Yin, make sure you have your E ready to go so that you can get that increased range so you can stay safe while attacking the tower. Now, you can see here that my positioning is very intentional while you have your Windburn or your extended range and cleave active. I like to personally stand in front of the melee minions, attacking, making sure to also be hitting the ranged minions, so that I'm also hitting some melee, but also the ranged. You want to kill the ranged minions first, but I like to get more value out of it, so I cleave the melee. So positioning is very key on Yin. You have to be making sure as much as possible that you are hitting as many targets with that cleave as possible. Now, the next ability that we get is Lash Kick, or her Q. What this does is it deals 80 to about 230 damage, 0.5 power scaling, not that much, but it deals a good amount of damage in the late game when you kind of add everything up. There's a 950 unit range where you can, on a minion, on an enemy, or on a ally, you can lash to them and then you jump on their heads. So you kind of use your whip and then you kind of travel that distance to close the gap or escape to a friendly hero. It's a really interesting ability that you can use to really secure kills or secure your escapes, or even traverse terrain if you have an ally up above and you can go to them. Very interesting ability that you have to be careful who you lock onto. It's a locked on ability, so you have to just be very careful with who you lock on. There's a few instances in this game where it doesn't seem to do exactly what I want, and I pay for it. So that's a very important ability. Get your Q second when at all possible. Now, the last ability is actually something we should probably talk about first because it's very important as well. This ability, pardon me, is her right mouse button, her backlash. 16-second cooldown or a 4-second cooldown at level 4. That's very important. You can reflect projectiles back at the enemy. Projectiles being if it's a projectile basic attack, if it's a projectile ability, you can reflect it back. Now, there's way too many abilities to list them as to exactly what you can reflect. You have to be just very careful here with what you can and cannot hit back at somebody. So if you are up against a caster in the off lane, obviously get your backlash first. You can hit back howitzer rockets. You can hit back gadget mines if you're really quick enough as they're traveling through the air, but good luck doing that. definitely get that first if you're up against a caster in the off lane. Speaking of the off lane, you can take Yin in the off lane, and some people even take her in the jungle. Because of that extended melee range, you can kite the jungle minions around, so you can basically get no damage taken from them whatsoever. She's very versatile. You can play her as you wish. This deck here, you'll see, is meant for the safe lane. Now, you can see here that the first card we got was a Madstone Gem. There is a healer token in this deck if you are up against somebody like a Morgesh. You can definitely do that if you need to. Here I'm thinking that I don't need to. I'm really having a poor early game here. So maybe that healer token would have definitely helped, but against a Kwang, I should be playing much better than I am. So there's a Madstone Gem for a whole bunch of power, and next into your ward for a whole bunch of power again. She needs a little bit of power, and then some attack speed goes in, as while she does gain 2.8 attack speed per hero level, she still does need some attack speed. Now, the next card here that we get is actually our Blink Shot. I'm having a tough time in this game, and I needed that escape option there. And the reason why I like Blink Shot is because you can also use it to secure kills, and it resets the blink cooldown. So here I go a little hard in on the tower, but I'm positioning it here a little bit better, as the Chimera here is trying to secure the kill. I'm using my E as much as possible because that cleave and the extended range is very important. Here I use my Lash Kick to actually prevent that Chimera from using his Unleash on me, so you can use it to kind of interrupt the enemy there. Now, her ultimate is something to absolutely need to talk about because it's so cool. You put down a little area of wind that just kind of flows around, and it slows projectiles, including ranged basic attacks. What you can then do is use your right click to send all of those out and back at the enemy. You can basically, and your ultimate slows enemies down quite a bit. It is really quite the slow. So you can actually use it as kind of like a protective bubble that you kind of can play around and use it to slow the enemy and use your increased range to your advantage. So it can kind of be like a little temporary safe spot that you can kite melee heroes around and be protected by a fair amount of ranged abilities. Very cool ultimate that is very nuanced in that way. If you can really use it as a safe area, you can actually get a lot of playmaking done. Honestly, it's really quite something. Of course, you can also kind of preempt, rampage rocks, howitzer missiles, stuff like that. You can really preempt that sort of stuff, and kind of make sure that those abilities are stuck in your ultimate, so you can then just hit them back and really make sure. So there is, you can see there, I again was being aggressive. Not sure what I was thinking really in this game, but I got out of there with the Blink Shot. I would much rather get out of there with the Blink Shot, and still have that 1 CP power it provides, and the option to secure kills and make some sick plays. Now, another reason why Yin is so meta is the very effective map objective. Raptors can be taken very easily. Look at me. I'm using my ultimate to protect me against the raptor projectiles, and I'm using my Windburn, our cleave, to cleave through all 3 of them. Look how fast we took them down here at 30 CP. So very effective carry to take those raptors down quickly. Almost able to do them yourself if you use your ultimate and kind of really let all of those raptor projectiles kind of build up, and then right at the end of your ultimate, hit them all back. I used it a little preemptively. Again, guys, I'm not a pro player whatsoever, but very effective. The next card we go into should have been a Flashfire Piston. I was an idiot, forgot about it. but you go into this Rift Mage's Scepter. It provides 28% crit chance, just enough to really warrant some crit bonus that we're getting very soon. Now, this is an interesting engagement that I felt in my bones should have went a different way, and I couldn't perform. Now, I'm being careful here. I'm not like right in that engagement. I'm backpedaling. I'm trying to stay safe, deal damage to this Kwang. Unfortunately, my Q lands on somebody else and not the Kwang at all. So that was unfortunate. I blink shot out, and then I'm like, oh yes, my blink shot's up. I need to use it on this Narbash. I go to town on him. My blink shot's actually off. I didn't realize that I could use it again because I'm positioning here to cleave both of them. I should have blink shot right now to get behind this Yin, finish her off with the lash kick and basic attack, reset my blink shot again. Plus we have some lifesteal here with our Hunger Maul, and then I probably could have taken down that Bellica as well. That is the playmaking potential. I felt it in my bones. That's why I stayed in that engagement. But again, not a pro player, unable to make those plays happen. So here I really felt it. I really felt it going after this Narbash. I missed basic attacks in here, guys, again. So there you go. My blink shot's off cooldown. I don't even realize it. I'm really going to town here on this Yin. Blink shot right now. After that, right there. Maybe that wouldn't have worked. Try to make some stuff happen. The plays with the Yin is so real. Now, there's something you need to know about her lash kick. You can actually determine which way you jump off the enemy or ally. You can actually determine which way. So here I lash kick onto the Chimera, but I go towards the Raptor Pit because I was holding down my forward key and I was facing this way. What I should have done was lash kicked on him, held my back key to go backwards so that I would have landed here in the river and have taken him out. My blink shot would have been on cooldown. I could have blinked away, which is what I was planning to do, but again, the lash kick, you need to determine which way. You can either leap to target and then jump off them to the left, to the right, forward, and back. Unfortunately, I messed that up, and I don't make the play happen. The play potential is really there. So here you can see, obviously, I blink forward, lash kick, should have went backwards, finish off the Chimera right there, boom, would have my blink shot up, blink away. The Kwang had used everything, I would have been safe. The next card that we get here is a Rift Mage's Scepter, Spear of the Rift Hunter, sorry, with a whole bunch of major wounds. Because that crit chance increases your damage so much, you really want to do it a lot. We melt that Kwang trying to do stuff, we get that Yin, and we go for the win. At this point, we're dealing a lot of damage. She hurts a ton, and oh boy, she is quite scary. So there you guys go. You know, in terms of the gameplay with her, very nuanced, very high skill cap. You know, especially with the blink shot, I feel like Yin can really use it with her lash kick to kind of jump around at the right times, really do some really cool things. Use her ultimate to protect herself against a lot of ranged attacks and abilities. Her cleave to kind of get extended range when she wants. Her right click to hit back projectiles. The only projectile here in this game was really the Narbash's Thunk, unfortunately. So while she wasn't a super great choice against the enemy team comp, you know, there is that potential there. So again, here I almost get taken out, but thank goodness here my team protected me. She has the potential to really be something else. So here is the rest of the build, Andale for Yin. Of course, we get the Warlord because as we've seen in a previous math video, the Warlord does increase our DPS on our carries over the Archmagus. Somebody like Twin Blast can use the Archmagus, but Warlord here for Yin, that 20% damage bonus, and then you get 27.5% attack speed on top of that. Oh, just painful. Just painful. The rest of the build here was the rest of that Rift Mage's Spear of the Rift Hunter into a Whirling Wand to get that major cast and a brutal kinetic. Finish it off with a brutal kinetic, and then replace your early Sage's Ward just for more power. Oh, I can't like her hitting with final 60 CP would be absolutely terrifying. The 10% is actually enough to solo or prime once you're in the high 50s, more than enough. Plus one little minor cast here on the blink shot just to make sure we get 60 CP, because you do keep the blink shot. Final build: Hunger Maul, blink shot, this Whirling Wand, this Spear of the Rift Hunter, Sage's Ward, and this Rift Mage's Scepter. Just insane. 70-something% crit chance, 76%. Fantastic amount. She hits so hard, and it's just nuts. Again, there's a Flashfire Piston I forgot about. There's the Scythe if you want to take her in the jungle. Why the Scythe? Because you can just keep kiting the minions for forever. Because of your increased melee range, you can just get that Scythe, burn through the minions, and really make sure to get those river buffs and help out your laners. Or you can go in the off lane here with a health potion and a healer token with some cast tokens thrown in there for all situations. There is the deck guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments if there's anything I forgot about, because I would really like for you guys to be helped out. Please, ladies and gentlemen, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, found it useful especially, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.